Good evening and welcome to an episode of the Shotcallers Show. I'm Rich. I'm waking up the roommates. It's late at night. We watch the Utah Jazz take on the Washington Wizards. We watch the Hornets get beat by the Los Angeles Lakers. We don't got Robin. I got Kyle. My name is Rich. I'm doing great. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I wish I could say the same about Robin, but he's got some problems that we can't or that we don't.
Robin is a
So
Wi-Fi warrior, and he's been defeated by an internet connection. Unfortunately,
yeah,
if he makes it back onto the show, we will let y'all know. Obviously, you'll see him on the
Mm,
screen. If he can't jump
yeah,
in, well, I mean, maybe he's just salty about his loss in the. Well, no, actually, he didn't lose
yeah.
tonight. He won in our pick'em
Well,
battle. The Jazz defeated the Wizards by more than 10.5, so they covered.
no,
Oh, is that what's happened? Is that what's
no,
happening? No,
no.
sorry. He lost in the.
The Wizards. Yeah,
Got it mixed
the
up. Got it
Wizards
mixed
beat
up. Sorry, I'm
yeah,
delirious.
yeah,
It's midnight over here in Texas. The Wizards defeated the Jazz. All three of us took the Jazz. If you follow us on Instagram
yeah,
at Shotcaller Show, and we all took that L. So maybe Rob is just salty about that. I apologize. But
yeah.
I'm
He was salty about. He was like, "Oh man, I should have picked the Wizards, but come on, man. You got to make a decision."
I'm putting the cart before the horse here. We are the Shot Callers. You can follow us on
hmm
Instagram at Shot Caller Show, on Twitter at Shot Caller Show. Thank you for tuning in to us on YouTube, searching us up on Shot Callers NBA podcast. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you like the content. And you can find us anywhere podcasts are bought and sold. That's Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts. Please leave a review. That would be much appreciated. Breaker, Pocket Cast, Google Podcasts, and anywhere else that you can think of podcasts being sold. Please email us at shotcallershow@gmail.com, shotcallershow@gmail.com. And as I got it wrong earlier, Kyle, I apologize. Washington
No,
surprised everyone, broke their losing streak,
yeah.
and shocked the
Mm,
world, beat the number one team in the NBA, the Utah
yep.
Jazz, 131 to 122. We had a huge outing from Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal. What was the number one
Yeah.
thing that you took away from this game tonight?
Well, Mike Conley was out tonight. I don't remember exactly why, but I was thinking, I was looking to see how much this would impact Utah. I wasn't expecting much. Utah's the number one team. I expected them to win this game regardless. But while uh, I don't feel that Conley's presence on offense was really missed that much, I do feel like his presence on defense was missed tonight because Westbrook and Beal, especially Westbrook in the first half, he started out really hot. 22 first half points and already putting up triple double type numbers. He finished the night with a triple double, but uh, I feel like on defense, Mike Conley wouldn't have locked him up. He's a little bit too old for that, but uh, he definitely would have made it a little bit harder
Yeah, I mean Russell
for
Westbrook
them at
flew in for
least.
a
Yeah,
putback slam like
yeah,
right off the bat. First two
yeah.
minutes of the game, and maybe Mike Conley can
hmm
keep from getting that head of steam up quite as much. They did just rest him ahead of tomorrow's back-to-back game against Toronto, so
hmm
it was more for rest more
Okay.
than any injury of any sort. But man,
hmm
crazy. Donovan Mitchell did as much as he possibly could.
Yeah.
43 points for Beal, like I mentioned, 35 points for
hmm
Russell Westbrook. Donovan Mitchell had 42 points for the Jazz. They lost
Yeah.
4 out of 6 in March so far. So pretty
Yeah.
shocking, but they're still, at the top of the league, and you got to wonder if that's kind of a hiccup and if they're going to get back to their winning ways. Other notable standouts in the statistics column being dang, I just had it right here.
Joe
Yeah,
Ingles.
tell me about Joe Ingles, Kyle.
Yeah, he went out for a career high. When you hear two guys on the same team going out for career highs, you expect them to win. But unfortunately, it was mostly just them two showing up in the scoring department. Jordan Clarkson, he had a disappointing night. I think it only scored like 7 points. He went like 1 for 8 for three, and in the first half, like he really struggled. He ended up like with three early fouls in the first half, and that put him out off of his rhythm. And uh, I want to point out Washington played like really great defense. Uh, like that was one of the they looked a lot more like a team tonight. Um,
Yeah, even guys like Howell Neto, he got a steal,
yeah,
led to a fast
yeah,
break dunk by
hmm
Westbrook. So like, yeah, you got to appreciate things like that. Getting
hmm
getting fast young guys in the open court is
hmm
so critical when you aren't great at
hmm
producing in isolation over and over again. We've seen Bradley Beal get 36 points a night often
Hmm.
for the past like year or two, it seems like,
Hmm.
but it doesn't add up to
Yeah.
winning basketball when it's so hard for anyone else to score when you need the rest of your team to put up another 60 something combined, and you're not stopping anybody on the defensive end. Getting out on the fast break
Mm.
on the times that you do get a steal or they do get a turnover, your opponents
Hmm.
do, super critical. And you mentioned that they weren't really scoring much else outside of Donovan Mitchell and Joe Ingles. Bojan
Yeah.
had 2 for 12 shooting, 16% from
Yeah.
the
He
field,
struggled.
no threes made. Royce O'Neal three
Mm.
for five, but he's not going to be a volume shooter. And then
Mm.
even Rudy Gobert 4 for 8, 50% from the floor, but like 10 points. That's not moving the needle. And
Well,
oh, what was that?
uh, the thing about Rudy Gobert tonight, like I thought in the first quarter he was going to be a problem for the Wizards because they don't have a big guy to really contest him. I mean, they have Robin Lopez
Hey
and
man, that's
and
a
Alec.
stout dude. He's like the opposite
Yeah,
of Rudy Gobert. Ru-
he's pretty funny. Like I feel like he's falling like every other possession. Like he's always like falling, and he gets contact or or he gets a call some of the times, but I just feel like even like off ball he's like falling, and his hair just exaggerates
Well,
everything
yeah, I was
too.
gonna
But
say even if he's not embellishing the contact himself, his hair
yeah,
is embellishing it for him.
yeah,
Like I've got long hair now. I kind of understand
yeah,
what what
yeah,
what that's like. You just got to join his long-haired brothers, Kyle, and you'll see. You might get more calls on
yeah.
the court if you grow that fro out. If you got a fro, but
Yeah. Rudy Gobert, in the first quarter, I thought he would be a problem. Like, I thought he was really controlling the paint, like getting a bunch of rebounds, and I think that's where he scored most of his points in the first quarter. But after that, they really started just like fouling him, and nothing else was really going for him. Like he he was like 1 or 2 for 9 from free throws tonight. So, but Utah in general, they didn't have a good free throw shooting night tonight. They oh, I don't have the free throw numbers right here,
for
but
Rudy, 2 for
I
10, and then as a team they shot 16 for
uh,
28,
the,
so 57%
yeah,
from the free throw line, which is free points. It's in the name.
mm, mm,
Unfortunate if you can't get at least
yeah.
80% of those up.
Compared to Washington, which I remember had 10 more free throw attempts, and they also had a higher free throw percentage. So they sh- uh, they had total of 38 free throws,
Yeah,
but
30 for 38 for
yeah,
78% shooting from the free throw
yeah.
line. So,
So Utah's been in this little controversy, like, oh, small market team, we don't get the calls, and
hmm
you know the numbers kind of reflect that, but hopefully they don't get it stuck in their head where it's like where it becomes like a mental thing where they're just like always getting upset when calls don't go their way and stuff. And I feel like especially for Bogdan, right? Not
Bojan, this is
Bojan.
Bojan.
Oh, okay, Bojan, Bogdanovic, like he was really kind of going at the refs. I kind of noticed it. A lot of calls weren't going his way.
Yeah, and like it's so frustrating when you see in the media like a player feels compelled to have an interview saying that we're getting screwed by the refs. Or Rudy did it to back up
Yeah,
Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell was more outspoken, especially after that Philadelphia game where Joel Embiid was
yeah,
like, "Call a tech on Donovan," and then they
yeah.
called a tech. but
I know, cause
uh,
cause he's just trolling.
which was crazy. But you want to side with them, but at the same time, there's so many things that you can control outside of the foul game that can secure the
Yeah.
win for you. Although I understand the frustration, but just compare him to Paul George, who
Mm,
just got worked by Luka Doncic after the Clippers beat the Mavericks on Monday. The
yeah.
Mavericks came back and got the win.
Yeah.
Paul George is hitting the ground. Luka Doncic hitting 42 points. Like that's wonderful. And then
Yeah.
he's gonna say, "Oh, I'm not getting the calls." Paul George is
Mhm.
someone that's been a punching bag, a real punching bag for a lot of
Mhm.
guys over the years, especially after the bubble performance where he's hitting the side of the
Mhm.
backboard, pandemic P, now playoff P. So if we're going to throw daggers at him for complaining about the refs, we got to throw daggers at the
Mhm.
Jazz for complaining about the refs too.
Mhm.
As terrible as the refs have been with all the crazy ejections that have seemed
Mhm.
so egregious for throwing the ball at them the wrong way, there's still a
Yeah.
million things that you can control outside of that. Like you can't
Mhm.
squander a season high or a season tying high for Donovan Mitchell on a team like the Wizards. You're gonna need that win in the win column, of course. whenever you're getting down the stretch run, and you're really aiming to keep home court advantage throughout the Western Conference Finals, or yeah, throughout the Western Conference Finals, or even all the way through the
Hmm.
finals. Especially when you have teams like the Lakers, that the Clippers, the Portland Trailblazers, that are going to be kind of
Yeah.
on your heels. And Anthony Davis is going to be back in a couple weeks. Like, who knows what's going to happen?
Mm.
You need these wins.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not even though or it's not like Washington was playing like stellar defense. Like I thought their defense was playing or was better,
Hmm.
but the score was 122 for Utah and 131 for Washington. So it's not like they played like amazing like oh they shut down Utah and stuff. Uh, but I like their coercion as a team, like it looked a lot better and it showed tonight. They got a big win against a good team. Uh, Also shout out to Isaac Bonga,
Hmm.
which
Isaac,
uh
that's how they say it.
oh
Isaac Bonga.
Isaac.
Isaac Bonga.
Oh, okay. Uh, yeah, shout out to him. He was playing hard, like he was especially on defense, making plays, getting rebounds. Especially when Rudy Gobert's out there. You got to fight for rebounds. So he he stood out to me. Uh, But the thing in the game too was Donovan Mitchell and Bradley Beal. They both had great nights, but they started out like really slow in the first half. Right before the half, like both of them hit a couple of shots. They weren't hot yet, but when the third quarter came around, that's when both of them started. Made their well, what is the phrase? They made their stamp on the game.
They put their stamp on the game. Yeah, Donovan.
Yeah,
The Wizards put
yeah,
up a few quick points early. I believe a 7-2 run, and
hmm
then Donovan Mitchell put 20 points up in the quarter by
yeah,
themselves. Got to within
yeah,
10, and then the Wizards
hmm
off a couple of turnovers kind of pulled away again and kind of put it at a
hmm
reach, and they never kind of got within striking distance
yeah,
as the time went down in the fourth as well.
hmm
But yeah, so pretty shocking result.
yeah. Yeah, that's the thing too. As I went down, or as the game went on in the second half, in the third quarter, you saw stretches where Utah was coming back, and
Hmm.
then Washington was able to pull away again, and then even in the fourth quarter, I believe they were pulling it back, and right before they took all the starters out because they were down nine, there's still kind of some sort of tension because they're like, oh, if they get a bucket here, they can still make it competitive. They can still come back, which I think is a good sign for Utah. They didn't quit. They kept fighting and trying to come back in this game. But unfortunately, stuff didn't go their way. I have their 3-point shots right here next to me. Utah shot 48 threes tonight and only made 18, while Washington only shot 17 and only made 7, which is pretty interesting. Uh, uh, Utah, they're up there in terms of 3-point attempts and percentage, but they were really off tonight. And Washington like only shooting 17 threes. That seems not right, but
Well,
but
Bertans, who shoots like 10
yeah,
threes a game, was
yeah,
out. Calf
yeah.
tightness,
Mhm.
only 4 minutes played.
Mhm.
Russell
Yeah.
Westbrook really leaned away from the threes tonight, which is something I'm always appreciative of when he leans away from those threes.
Well, in the first half he was hitting them, and I was kind of surprised. I was like, wow, he's actually shooting them.
Yeah, but he only shot five. Like I'm glad he didn't shoot
Yeah.
seven
Mhm.
and make two. He
Mhm.
shot five
Mhm.
and made two. And then a lot of things going towards the basket because the Jazz had 17
Mhm.
turnovers. You got to take over. You got to take care of the
Mhm.
ball. Like ideally,
Yeah.
a team can get 13 turnovers, 12 turnovers, and
Mhm.
feel pretty good about themselves and not giving away too many opportunities, especially when they're live ball like that. But that's the first thing we talked about when we first started talking about this game. So now that we're coming full circle, I think this is probably the last time we're gonna see the Wizards in prime time. And
Yeah.
this isn't even prime time. We didn't even mention we
Yeah.
usually make the joke that this is outside the NBA because we
Mhm.
are NBA players and my name's not Charles Barkley. But these
Yeah.
weren't the TNT matchups. These were the NBA TV matchups because we had
Yeah.
I guess March Madness is kind of in full swing.
Mhm.
So there weren't anything hosted on TNT tonight. We just had to catch the NBA TV play-by-play, which was disappointing for me
Mhm.
in one way. When we're gonna get to the next game, before we get to the next game, Kyle,
Mhm.
anything you have left to say about these Wizards?
Uh, Not really. I mean, another stat or interesting thing that I have written down here
Hmm.
is in the last 8 games, 6 of them are losses for Washington, and two of them are wins, and two of those wins are against like two of the best teams in the NBA, the Utah Jazz, which happened, just now, and the Los Angeles Clippers, which is like really odd. Like their losses were like to Sacramento, to not really that great teams, but they're out here beating Utah and the Clippers, like, which is really just I think a testament to their star power. Like they're
Mm,
you know
Kyle, is it the star
Bradley
power?
Beal.
I mean, they've beaten the Jazz, the Lakers, the Suns, the Clippers, the Nuggets, and the
Yeah.
Blazers. I think people just aren't coming ready to play against the Wizards. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, that could be a good point, but I mean, hopefully they can just, when they play games like this against Utah, you expect them to potentially, slot in for uh into the play-in tournament, um, and they could compete there. But when they're losing these games to weaker opposition, it's like the Wizards are just like a weird team. I don't know.
Yeah, and we haven't mentioned too much on the last few episodes of our show. For those that don't know, the NBA is bringing in a different format for the playoffs this
Playoffs.
year, and they had a preview of it last year. But basically, the 7, 8, 9, and 10 seeds in each conference are going to be battling for the seventh and eighth seed in the regular playoff bracket by doing a play-in tournament. So the seventh seed plays the 10th seed, the eighth seed plays the ninth seed, and then the winners advance and battle for the
Hmm.
seventh and eighth spot. The top seed needing to win one game, and the bottom seed needing to win two to finalize their place in the playoffs, which can be very enticing for those that were normally outside the playoff bubble trying to get in. The Wizards are 13th in the standings, 15 and 25,
Hmm.
but they're only really just a couple games back of the Pacers in the 10th seed, who are 17 and 22.
Hmm.
So when you combine that with the fact that the lottery odds for tanking your way all the way to the bottom where the Pistons are, way down at 11 and 29, you're not going to catch them. But your odds
Yeah.
at the 12th seed or the 13th seed are not very far off for getting those ping pong balls compared to the Pistons. It's like, why not just try and win? Why
Hmm.
not throw our hat in the ring and see if we can get
Yeah.
some playoff dollars, some playoff eyeballs from broadcasting, or if by the time June rolls around we have a few more fans, depending on what stadium it is, get some gate revenue, which is what the
Hmm.
owners all really want, because it's free. It's a free million, $2 million a night or something like that. A stat I heard a long time ago. Each time that you have a bonus game for the playoffs, just like cash money, like yeah,
Hmm.
I'll take it, even when you factor in all the payments of everything it takes to run those games. So I don't think they're gonna make a push for the play-in, Kyle. When we start previewing that, I don't think we're gonna be talking about the Wizards, but you know, thank you,
I mean, yeah, you're probably right.
thank you for bringing that up, just so we could bring it up to our listeners, those that might not have been in the know. And with that said, the playoff hopes are dying. I'm calling it now for the Wizards. Let's move on to some teams that are solidly
Th-
in the playoff race.
they tease us a lot though. They're like, oh, they look really good, but
I guess
not
so.
really.
This will be the last time that they'll be on prime time. Let me promise you that they won't be on TNT next week. So in the next game, the Charlotte Hornets, the NBA darlings, LaMelo Ball, Miles
Mhm.
Bridges, Ettore Messina, the coach. Props to Ettore Messina, previous Spurs assistant coach. Take on LeBron James, Frank Vogel, the Los Angeles Lakers in LA. The latest game,
Mhm.
like, it was annoying how late this game started. It's a 9:30 start, but it
Yeah.
started at
Yeah.
9:44. Like, come on, man. Like, can we get this going?
Yeah.
But that being said, although the game didn't look super close during parts of it, it definitely heated up during the third quarter. The first half
Mhm.
seemed close in the opening tip. About a 3-point lead for the
Mhm.
Hornets, back and forth, going back and forth to the Lakers, and then the Lakers kind of rattled off a quick 10-point run. LeBron James hit a
Yeah.
three immediately. LeBron James hit another three, drifting out of bounds from the sidelines, corner three. We had contributions from Dennis Schroeder, putback slams from
Montrez.
Montrez. It just seemed like everything was going super well. We had Alex Caruso doing a good job playing defense, turning the Hornets over. They turned the Hornets over probably 8 times in that first quarter alone to the
Mhm.
Lakers three,
Yeah.
and they had a 15-point lead going into halftime. Like, it was the Hornets were down 10. and it looked like they were kind of spring back into it. And then right before the
Yeah.
second half ended, LeBron put a three in, LeBron put a two in, and it was a 15-point lead
Yeah.
going into the second half. And
Yeah.
it was like, Jesus
Mhm.
Christ. Followed up by coming out third quarter. It's like, man, what's gonna happen here?
Yeah. They came
Lamelo
out hot.
Lamelo was not looking happy in that first half. He was driving. They were doing a great job containing him, turning him over again and again, deflecting balls, deflecting
Mhm.
passes, deflecting shots. And then, but that being said, the Hornets were really driving in multiple drive and kick possessions, drive and kick attempts on same possessions, getting all the way to the rim for guys like Miles Bridges. Good assist from Lamelo Ball. He got the 3-point going. He got the floater going. Um, Cody Martin had a two, had a three, step up three, off the dribble. So like it looked great.
Mhm.
Made it close, and then as they kind of cruised through the third quarter, 83-79, Lakers 4 points, difference between the scores, and then from then on, like it just seems like they did everything they needed to do to execute. LeBron James had a block that was called the goaltend that was total BS.
Yeah.
He had another
Yeah.
block,
Yeah. Mhm.
saying that previous one
Yeah.
wasn't a
He made up
goaltend, but
for
I'm
it.
gonna make up for it
Yeah.
anyway.
Mhm.
And just like terrific. Gordon Hayward missed a horrible 2-point shot. Like
Yeah.
he was so
Yeah.
point
He
blank.
missed the layup.
Um,
Yeah. He had an off game, but.
Lamelo Ball had 5 fouls, and
Mhm.
they kind of took him out all the way up until the 2-minute mark, where it was kind of out of reach
Mhm.
already. And then the
Mhm.
Lakers ended up sealing the deal. So, what did you think of this one? Before we go to that, I wanted to tell everyone that Kyle picked the Lakers to win this game. They were favored -7.5, so they had to win by 8 to
Yeah.
cover. Robin took the Lakers as well. Rich, I took the Hornets. I thought they would keep it close and look that way, but the Lakers ended up
Yeah.
covering, and you guys have gone up on me in the standings. I've been talking. What do you got to say now, Kyle?
Uh. I mean, just LeBron, timeless. I mean, what more is there to say? It's been said a million times. You're gonna hear it on ESPN, Sports Center, everything. LeBron, especially with those two chase down blocks. I mean, it should have been two, but uh, he gets up there and it doesn't feel like he's in year 18, but he came out starting this game like really hot, shooting the ball. He wasn't really even looking to get his teammates involved. Like he took over. He took over. And it kind of just stayed that way. I mean, the Hornets definitely made it interesting, especially in that third quarter, coming out of the half, which was really important if they wanted to stay in this game. And I think the Hornets are really fun to watch, they're a young team and they have a lot of potential in the future and not even the distant future, but just like maybe like next year or the year after that when LaMelo will develop a little bit more and maybe they can develop some other pieces or add, make some little changes here and there. But
Maybe Terry Rozier stay hot. Like that guy is playing
yeah,
very well. He's looking like the
hmm
more favorable of the two, comparing Kemba Walker
yeah,
and Terry Rozier. Like maybe Michael Jordan made the
yeah,
right choice on that one, letting Kemba go, because
yeah,
Kemba is not
hmm
playing very often, and when he is, it's kind of
hmm
inconsistent. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, man. I thought that this game moved. Oh, you were talking about LeBron. LeBron
yeah.
had an immaculate game. Like me just reading the stats to you won't do it
Oh,
justice. 14 for 22, 4 for
mm,
9 from 3, so 44%. Only missed one free throw, 5 for 6, which is great because sometimes that's a question with
yeah,
LeBron.
yeah,
Only 3
hmm
turnovers, 2 fouls, and, positive 7 in the plus minus column. It seemed like, anytime that they needed a score, anytime they needed a cutter to put a putback there when Montrez wasn't there, dump off pass, he just literally had his body in the right place at
hmm
any time. It wasn't just the fact that he had the
yeah,
3-point shot going. Um, I feel like he really deserved a few calls, and that's pretty rare for me to say. He's
yeah,
definitely a big whiner. Like when
hmm
when he feels like he should have had a call, he's at the
hmm
top of the whine category. But I really feel like they were holding out on him as far as the whistle goes in this game. It would have been even better if he gotten the calls that I think that he should have gotten. Although he did get that clear path after he whined for it a little bit
yeah,
in the
hmm
third quarter, or is that the fourth quarter? But man, some crazy stuff going on in this game. Did you see that one play where I think Lamelo Ball was going down court, and then
hmm
Wesley Matthews basically took him head on, took him to the chest, and stole the ball
Oh,
while falling backwards?
Oh no, I think I stepped away for that play. I missed that one.
Yeah, man.
That sounds sick.
That was in the third quarter, and they passed it down to
Yeah.
Taylor Horton Tucker, and who got it off to LeBron for a flush in
Mm-hmm.
the fast break the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of fast break opportunities for the Lakers in this one.
Mm-hmm.
The Hornets were turning it
Hey,
over like crazy.
yeah, I feel like it got sloppy at for both teams. I mean, at some points, like especially in I think it was like the end of the third quarter,
Yeah,
or they were both turning the ball over like
yeah.
really dumb. Like
Mhm.
they couldn't get a shot up to seal the quarter. Like they both kept on turning the ball over, and it was just really weird. Uh, weird stuff to watch, especially from the Lakers. They're the more experienced squad. They have their bench is more well-rounded and they have more vets. So you don't really expect to see that kind of stuff. Uh,
No, you're right.
but
19 turnovers for the
mm,
Hornets to the Lakers 12, right around the number that I was
mm,
saying would be really
yeah,
great for any team that wants to win and have
mm,
championship aspirations. You got to take care of the ball.
yeah,
But so many of those turnovers for the Hornets were live ball turnovers, letting the
mm,
Lakers go the other way and get a easier
yeah,
basket.
mm,
Yeah, just like terrific active defense. Alex Caruso, I got little notes on a bunch of players that happened in the game. It's pretty simple. So I've got one, Alex Caruso. So solid, so aware of
mm,
where he needs to be on the court at any time. If he needs to be on help defense, if he sees an offensive
yeah,
rebound, you can see him scanning like an offensive rebound opportunity. You can see him scanning to find his guy to box out. You can see him ready to pounce on a double team. You can see him standing in the middle. I mentioned this maybe 2 podcasts ago. Standing in between
mm,
two defenders, waiting to guard the pass, but keeping his eye on his man at the same time. Like he's just
yeah,
doing a million little things that make it really obvious as to why any team would want him as their seventh man off the bench.
yeah,
And he's not afraid
yeah,
to shoot most of the
mm,
time in big moments. And
mm,
he looks cool in the dark headband compared to the white sweatband that he
yeah,
normally uses. Like the white headband,
yeah,
it makes him look like he's 12 years old out there. It's like AAU ball. But with the black one, he looks almost
yeah.
cool.
Uh, it helps a little bit, when he shaves his head too. He doesn't have the little wispiness. Uh, so,
Yeah.
but he started out this game, kind of cold. Like he was like missing layups and stuff. But yeah, that's the thing that makes him valuable. Like it's not really his scoring. He can score and it's a plus when he does. But uh, really his positioning on defense, because he's not the biggest guy. He's more like one of the smallest guys on the
hmm
court, but his positioning and effort on defense is like really really makes him valuable, especially to the Lakers
Yeah,
team.
you can tell he's really bought in on the scheme. He's really bought in
Hmm.
on taking to heart everything
Hmm.
that Vogel preaches to him in timeouts and in film. And you could notice even when LeBron got there 2 years ago,
Hmm.
um, LeBron was immediately bought in defensively, and you don't see him taking plays off, halves off in that sense the way that you
Yeah.
would see him with the Cleveland Cavaliers when they were going
Hmm.
back to the finals and back to the finals and back to the finals again and again. It was like, man, let's just get through this game and try to turn on the Jets in the fourth quarter, try to shoot threes
Hmm.
and blow teams out of the water. He's bought in on defense. LeBron is, and so is everyone all the way down the roster, even if they have their own shortcomings. Taylor Horton Tucker, Damian Jones, like all these guys are trying their damnedest out there, and it starts
Hmm.
from the top down as corny as it can seem, and it's on display when you see you know uh, Caruso doing it.
Hmm.
And so stop shooting his horn. Rozier, man, that guy, like him and Schroeder are very similar in terms of confidence level. Like
Yeah.
they feel like any
Uh-huh.
shot that they're gonna take is gonna go in. You never see them pump fake out of unsureness. They're gonna try to go for
Yeah.
a better shot if they need to, but they're
Ne-
definitely never
never.
lacking in confidence.
Yeah. Never hesitating.
Exactly, exactly.
Without a purpose.
Yeah, and but man, what I wrote down for Rozier is that guy is a limb flailer. He's flailing like in a good way. Like it looks like he
Yeah.
looks like everything is like an extraordinary effort. Like he's really flying through the lane when he's going up for a rebound. You ever jump for a rebound and you feel like you jumped higher than you've ever jumped before, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my
Yeah.
god,
Yeah.
That's how he looks
Yeah.
like every time he's going for a rebound, dude. His limbs are just everywhere. Kind of like Michael Jordan used to, his legs would be going crazy, so he look like he's even
Yeah.
higher.
Mm-hmm.
Rozier's got that going, but with his arms, like it's just everywhere. Pretty crazy. So that's what I got for him. I got Schroeder is a bucket. That's what I wrote down. That guy
Yeah, for sure.
feels like he can score from anywhere that's not 3 feet behind the 3 point line. Like he's got a mid range. He's got a little floater that it can go in sometimes. He's got a reverse, and he can get to the rim for just a lay in because he's got the speed. We've known he's fast ever since he was in
Yeah.
Atlanta. So I think what a pickup. He went over to the Lakers and said, I'm a starter, and that was their addition after they had some
Hmm.
losses the year before. So I was kind of unsure how that was going to go, but it's looking terrific. And it's like Robin said before, like without Schroeder, the Lakers are a different team.
We miss you, Robin.
Yeah,
Uh,
Robin to give us a
but
stank
no,
face when we say
yeah,
dumb stuff.
yeah. But no, yeah. Dennis Schroeder, he especially when LeBron isn't on the floor, like he really shows his value there as well. Like, because when LeBron's off the floor, kind of the past problem with other LeBron teams, I guess mostly the Cavaliers.
Mhm.
Uh, when LeBron goes out, everything goes quiet pretty much. But when Schroeder is out on the floor, like he helps lead the team, control the pace, get guys to where they need to be. Uh, and on top of that, he plays great defense as well. So putting him on the opposing point guard and makes them have a hard time shows how valuable he is to this team, and especially when they're trying to go back to back.
Yeah, man. I had some general questions. You brought up that
Yeah.
LeBron, was on the bench, and that's when Dennis Schroeder, comes into play for a lot of importance, which is true. But
Hmm.
I just had a question, like, why do you think that at times, when they need sets going, Gordon Hayward didn't have it going in this game. He shot
Yeah.
really terribly,
Hmm.
but a lot of the action, of course, starts with LaMelo Ball being so talented. But I just
Hmm.
wonder why the Hornets don't run more action where they're going to get multiple players involved in the play.
Hmm.
Like they don't have very big guys,
Hmm.
Miles Bridges and PJ Washington's pretty tall, but just not a lot of pick
Yeah.
and roll. And I know that
Hmm.
from seeing some of the Australian basketball that LaMelo played when he was playing, he knows how to navigate the pick and roll. He knows how to snake it, and they just don't seem to get a lot of action going that can create
Hmm.
mismatches like that and get movement going behind the play. A lot of it starts on the perimeter, and you're waiting on guys to drive and kick, and that did work. But sometimes you need to manufacture some distance or some mismatches
Hmm.
to get some easier stuff going. But then at the same time, they tossed the ball into Bismack Biyombo for a post up. Like, where? How did you think that was gonna work? Like, it was a turnover. Like immediately. Like, I got a little thinking emoji right there. In the notes. So I don't get it sometimes. So I gave Messina his props, but sometimes you got to manufacture some points for yourself and not rely on the
Yeah.
athleticism.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I think one of the standout points for the Lakers was points in the paint. Like the Lakers had a lot of points in the paint, and it shows uh, when the Hornets don't have a really that much size uh, on the court. Like they're missing. I mean, they have Biombo, but other than that, they're kind of lacking. Uh, but I do like, they're pretty loaded at the guard position. Uh, I think it showed during this game, but they're getting some development out of their wings as well. But their center position is definitely the weakest for sure.
Yeah, and like you would think that just from the start of the game, I was like, is Cody Zeller about to like dominate this game? That dude came right down the lane and dunked it. Like it was air
Oh
Cody.
yeah, yeah, I
I
saw
was
that.
like, who
Yeah.
is this guy? Like he's balding. Like he looks like Caruso's gonna look in 10 years. Even though they're not very
Yeah.
far away in age.
Hmm.
So I thought that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Man, Matthews cannot hit a bucket to save his life as far as the Lakers are concerned, which is pretty
What,
concerning.
Wesley Matthews?
Wesley Matthews. I mean, yeah, he had a couple makes, but
Yeah.
he had an
Yeah.
airball three, man, and like he's been kind of in a slump over the
Yeah.
past few weeks. And this
Mm-hmm.
is nothing new. I mean, I watched him a lot when he was on the Mavericks, and I was pretty frustrated a lot of the time. The
Hmm.
arrows were
Hmm.
not flying in this
Hmm.
game, or at least not to the target.
Yeah.
So
He he had like one arrow.
yeah, he had one arrow, but that's
Yeah.
not what you
Yeah.
want going into the stretch
Hmm.
run, going
Hmm.
into the playoffs where you gotta rely on someone big. They wanted Danny Green for that last season, and while he
Hmm.
did come up in some moments, not as often as they wanted, and this might be going down the same path. So kind of makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Malik Monk.
Pretty
Oh,
pretty equivalent.
yeah, I'm bouncing around to both teams now. Malik Monk
Mm.
0 for 4, didn't really make a stamp on this game.
Mm-hmm.
Committed some fouls. Had some turnovers that I don't really understand. Just kind of a minus, but he's a young player. Maybe he'll figure it out. Devontae Graham,
Mm-hmm.
3 for 8 from the field, 3 for 8 from three, all 3 pointers. That's not
Yeah.
surprising.
Yeah.
He made a stamp on the league. I think last season when he came out really hot to start the season, then kind of disappeared afterward. But the Hornets should probably flex into some more national games as the year goes on, especially if they stay in the
Mm-hmm.
playoff hunt. Especially if LaMelo Ball is going to keep on playing and performing this way as he makes his Rookie of the
Yeah.
Year case. But uh, I wonder how they're going to develop as the year goes on.
Do,
So
do, uh, Now that Anthony Edwards just dropped his career high 41 points, do you still think, or who do you have for Rookie of the Year?
I mean, I think it's easy to go with someone that's been putting up highlight plays for a long time. Ever since that,
Yeah.
Lamelo was turning over the ball a lot at the beginning
Yeah.
of the season, and his coach was saying, "I can't start him."
Yeah.
He's committing too
Mm-hmm.
many turnovers, staying on the bench, and then when finally about maybe 1 month into the season, month and a half, 6 weeks, um, Terry Rozier went to the bench with an injury, and then they had to start him. He kind of made his breakout game, and then they had to insert him to the starting lineup. So just because he's had a longer track record of kind of showing out, whereas at the beginning with Anthony Edwards and James Wiseman on the Warriors, kind of going back and forth, disappearing from the
Yeah.
limelight. Um,
Mm-hmm.
LaMelo's been there the whole time. I think that's going to stick out in voters' minds for sure. So,
Yeah. Yeah. You're probably right
but
there.
that
I
dunk
think
that
it's
Anthony Edwards had is very convincing, and that does stick out in my mind.
yeah. Yeah, you're not forgetting that anytime soon. But yeah, yeah, no, I think you're definitely right there. But it's I think as the season goes on, it's probably going to get closer and closer, especially if Anthony Edwards keeps up the scoring pace that he's doing right now.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Hmm.
Well, as this game one, I know I said that LeBron was getting screwed on the calls, but you were mentioning that this game wasn't all that enrapturing for you, that you weren't super
Yeah,
entertained. Why was that,
yeah.
Kyle?
I don't know. It kind of just went as I expected. The Hornets didn't make it like super easy. They played their own style of basketball, pretty fast paced, shooting threes,
Lots of
things like
driving kicks.
that.
Uh huh.
Yeah. Uh but you know the Lakers veteran savvy just held it together,
Kyle, man,
played great
Kyle,
defense.
you're focused on the destination, man. You gotta enjoy the
Yeah.
ride. I was
Yeah, you're right.
watching,
You're
I
right.
was watching, and I said, man, I'm really enjoying this. There weren't too many foul calls.
Hmm.
Overall, I thought the flow of the game was pretty great. I thought that, yeah, the Hornets got dug into a hole. I was like, I wonder if they're gonna come
Hmm.
back. I texted you guys at halftime. I said, this game's
Yeah.
not close. It's a 15-point game, but I'm really enjoying it. I thought that it was
Yeah.
great seeing
Hmm.
Lamelo hit his head against a brick wall time and time again, then break through it, and seeing these young
Yeah.
guys, just the kind of the clashing of styles, I thought was so
Hmm.
interesting, despite the outcome of the game eventually. I really, really
Hmm.
enjoyed it, especially for the pace of the game and how long, outside of that one clear path review that took like 10 years, I thought the pace of the game
Yeah.
was great. Basketball is
Yeah,
supposed to
for
be the
sure.
fastest of the four major sports, and it felt like it tonight. So if the refs
Hmm.
can hurry up and get their act together,
Yeah.
like for real, set the tone of the game where you can
Yeah.
allow some physicality so that we don't get a million foul calls at the end of the game. Um, I think other games that go this way, especially when the talent's more even, I think it should be this way. I think this was a great
Yeah.
showcase on NBA TV. NBA TV never gets a good game, and I thought this was good.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna agree with you there. Like, there were some points of this game when they were trading fast break buckets. Both of these teams can get out there and run. And there's at one point I can't remember if it was like in the second quarter or the third quarter, but they were literally like fast break layup and
Hmm.
then outlet pass, cherry picking,
Yeah, yeah.
attacking the basket for another fast break layup, and it went back and forth like that a couple times. And then there are other times, like how we mentioned earlier, that, they were making dumb turnovers
Hmm.
and slow down the game a lot, like going back and forth and reviewing calls and stuff like that. But other than that, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Well, that's all I got on this one. You got anything to add before
Mhm.
we look ahead to next week's games?
I guess I wanted to poke fun at Kyle Kuzma again because
What you got?
uh he's doing the thing where I think I talked about this last time we covered a Lakers game, but he did the thing again where he's like he'll make a really smart play or a really good decision and
Oh,
he'll make like a tough bucket
uh-huh.
and then the next couple of possessions like he'll make a really dumb play and turn the ball over or take a dumb shot or whatever and sometimes it'll be vice versa but now that I had that in my head and I watched him play like I kind of feel like he makes a dumb play like when he gets the ball and he doesn't immediately take action
Hmm.
if
Oh,
he gets the
so you're
ball
saying if he
and
goes immediately,
yeah
it's going to be a good,
yeah
decent read,
yeah
but if he takes the
hmm
time to think, it's going to be like a
yeah
turnover or something negative?
yeah, because I would see like sometimes, or the first thing I noticed, like he would catch a pass from LeBron, and then he was open and he could have shot it, but he like kind of hesitated and then tried to make something happen off the dribble, and he passed it to like Schroeder or somebody, and they had to force up a tough shot. So I thought that was, that was kind of evident. But then there were other times when he would catch a pass from LeBron and he would make another immediate quick pass,
Hmm.
like to the cutter, or he would take a quick shot or attack the closeout, and uh, good good plays came out of that. So I just feel like as long as he's attacking and making smart decisions and reading the defense properly, like I think or like right when he catches it, then he'll make a good decision. If if he's not doing that, then he should look to get it somebody else.
Wow. um, I just remember that one fast break where he kind of did a spinning backwards pass back
Yeah,
to
to
LeBron,
LeBron. Yeah,
and it was great to
yeah,
see on the replay. It looked a
yeah,
little
uh,
Showtime, if as corny as that
yeah,
sounds. And then
yeah,
it's always fun
yeah,
whenever something really cool happens and you see the players on the bench and LeBron like looking at the video board trying to look back
mm,
and see how fun it was.
mm,
Those are some of the best
yeah,
moments for me. And
mm,
on that note, I think that's a good ending point. It's pretty rare that I watch a Laker game and I had this much fun at the end of it. A lot of times
yeah,
I get frustrated with how easy it can be for those guys sometimes.
yeah. Hmm.
But yeah. So next week, let me pull up the schedule. We will be in our last week of our pick'em for March, and whoever the loser is, I believe now, Robin and I should be tied for last place. You're ahead of us, I think, by
Yeah,
maybe a game.
yeah,
We'll see what happens on the next week. Let me find next Thursday, since I lost both tonight. And today is the 16th? Today's the 18th. What is time?
you you, you want to know what I think what a good punishment would be?
What? Let's hear
I mean, we probably couldn't do it,
it.
'cause it would take too much time, or it would probably be, maybe a little expensive. But do you remember earlier in the season, Jalen Brunson lost the bet to Luca, and he had to wear a jersey that said Luca's son on
Luca's
it?
son.
So, yeah, I
Dang.
feel like it would be funny if the loser had to wear a jersey like that or something.
I mean, I have a old Marion. I think I might have a Marion Barber jersey in the an old cowboy in my closet right now. I mean, we could just put some duct tape on that thing. Like they do whenever a player switches teams.
Yeah.
But March
Hmm.
25th should be the last week of the pick'em. 7:30 or 6:30 Central Time. We have Portland versus Miami in Miami. So that should be a terrific one to watch.
Oh
That
yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, that should be. Is that national? Hold on. And then the nightcap will be Sixers Lakers. Man,
Ooh.
I hope that one gets to be with Joel Embiid back, but he's missing multiple weeks, so I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Dang man, get
Yeah.
well soon,
Say,
Embiid.
yeah, I think Anthony Davis should still be out too because they extended him staying out for a little bit longer for a couple more weeks.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Davis? Is that what you said? Or Embiid?
yeah, Anthony Davis.
And I'm just double checking
Yeah,
the
so
national games real quick.
so I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see to watch that Sixers Lakers game. Because I'm sure some people would say potential finals matchup.
Or at
But
least they could
I
meet up in the second round or the third round. You said
of
Lakers. You said
Sixers.
oh Lakers Sixers. I thought you said Miami
Yeah,
Sixers. Sorry,
no,
I'm tripping.
no, no.
I'm tripping.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Lakers Sixers. Yeah, potential finals matchup, and I think if they're missing both Davis and Embiid, then you could still
Kind of,
see,
you're like, oh, it's
some
even. It's a
equivalent,
little bit
yeah,
more even,
equivalence.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
if Tobias Harris keeps shooting the way that he's been shooting, and Ben Simmons, I mean, how good of a job could Ben Simmons possibly do on LeBron James? You know, like, is there
Mhm,
a cap as to how much you can really slow him down? As much as LeBron really
mhm.
knows about the game and how to score and how to work the
Yeah,
officials, like, yeah, and he's got the touch from almost everywhere now, depending on the night. Like, I wonder. Um,
yeah.
the only thing I hope is
He.
that Ben Simmons doesn't rack up like 3 quick fouls and they got to put him on someone
Mhm,
else or something like that. It'll still be,
mhm.
still playing by committee. I think they'll try to put Tobias on him, but Tobias Harris has not been able to guard LeBron in the past. Like Ben Simmons is your only hope. It's like Star Wars. Ben
What
Simmons,
about
save us.
one of your favorite players, the rookie, or I mean, I guess he's not a rookie
You mean Matisse Thybulle?
anymore, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean he's still too slender, man. Like all he can, the best thing that he can do is chase LeBron. After the pick and roll, like trying to get his pick pocket from behind,
mhm,
or be a help side defense, maybe a double team that LeBron somehow doesn't see coming. He's seen every double team in the
mhm.
book. Like I don't think
Yeah,
Matisse Thybulle is going to come up with new ways to double team him, as
mhm.
good as he is with his instincts and his length. Um, so that's man, I'm excited for that one. Ooh, and it's the
Yeah,
late
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Next week seems pretty exciting. I think I'm looking forward to the Portland Miami game because it's got two of my favorite players in there, Damian Lillard and Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
So
and I'm excited to watch Jimmy Butler play, or not Jimmy Butler, Damian Lillard play not at midnight because he's always, it's always a
yeah,
Portland game and it's
yeah,
always so late. But
yeah.
this time they're in
Hmm.
Miami, so I'm
Hmm.
looking forward to that too. Man, that's terrific, man.
Yeah,
All right, let's hurry up and end this episode so we can get right to the next one. Man, I wish we could just
yeah.
fast forward time. Cool, cool, cool. I gotta go to sleep early. I'm getting my vaccine
Hmm.
in the morning. I'm looking forward to
Oh,
that.
oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
and
I need to look into when I can get vaccinated and stuff.
availability is opening up for Americans everywhere. Everyone stay safe.
Yeah.
Continue social distancing. Disinfect surfaces. Keep your masks on. And I'm gonna continue to do so, even though I'll be
Hmm.
getting vaccinated here in the near future. I'm taking the 2-dose vaccine. Um, and yeah. So with that, I want to do a little housekeeping. Where can the people find us, Kyle? Please let the people know.
They can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Shotcaller Show. That's at Shotcaller Show, not the Shotcaller Show. And then you'll also be able to find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you can find podcasts. And then you can also find us on YouTube at Shotcaller Show. You'll be able to find the links for YouTube and our Twitter and our Instagram, I believe, because it's a little bit tricky with the YouTube.
Algorithm sometimes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Looking up shot callers. Uh, but yeah, uh, go to our Twitter. You'll be able to find everything there.
Terrific, terrific. Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah.
So for Robin, who's not here, we'll see him next week. For myself, for Kyle, we are the Shot Callers, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.